metas entre líneas, lo que quiero decir, de manera inteligente y con habilidad y con mucha humildad, saber que tiene allí un compendio, un recurso, simplemente comer, cagar, dormir, y no generar un estrés o un impacto negativo a terceros ni al núcleo familiar, y mucho menos en sus momentos de socialización. Ya se acabó el cuento, permiso. Pues nada, este libro que está, no, yo creo que no, yo creo que es un poco frustrante. Eso es la óptica y la perspectiva donde se ven las cosas. Hay un comentario muy bueno cuando tú mencionas de que la moneda tiene dos caras. Hay un comentario muy bueno cuando tú dices la educación y el adiestramiento pertenecen a una misma moneda. Pero entonces, ¿por qué no lo haces? Entonces tú preguntarás, ¿pero lo hacen ustedes? Claro que sí, claro que sí. Todos los elementos del enriquecimiento ambiental, toda la manera que se ha venido trabajando en diferentes ambientes, diferentes situaciones, diferentes escenarios, le permite al perro que sepa controlar sus emociones y que indistintamente ante los factores ambientales, distractores que pueden presentarle una dinámica de ciudad, tiene un enfoque, tiene un comportamiento y al mismo tiempo una excelente comunicación que en determinado momento yo puedo solicitar fonéticamente una comunicación con mi perro y del otro lado, como siempre te he dicho, emisor receptor genera la comprensión necesaria, la cual me va a brindar a mí también una respuesta que está muy consecuente a lo que yo solicité en la fonética. La acción de intención. Te va a brindar mucha concentración, te va a brindar un perro.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good. Good.
Let me let Bradley in.
Okay.
Okay, I think I'm in.
You're in.
I'm in.
Good.
Good. Good. Hello, Pablo. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, both. Oh,
Um, are you okay? I see the meeting is recorded. Would you mind sharing the meeting with us once it's done? That would
yes, of course. Of
yeah,
course, there is no problem.
that'd be great to have a copy of it.
Yeah. Uh, well, I am a little bit nervous. I wasn't expecting that you really answered my email. So, but well, I had to shoot for the stars. Um, uh, I have this project in Mexico in which we already have a competency standard on dog training, which I think is it gets pretty short on getting what should be, I think, expected of a dog trainer.
Who's in charge? Can I interrupt? Who's in charge of the competency standards for Mexico now?
It's Education Bureau.
The Education Bureau?
Yeah.
Okay. But your feeling is that it's not comprehensive enough.
Yes.
Okay.
And it is outdated.
Got it.
It was created about 15 years ago, and then um, it it still has some um, compulsion things in it that I think that should be avoided, um, and based on the dominance theory and on uh, I'm sorry, I forgot the name, but it has many issues. So it all started by updating that standard, which was my first project. But then I realized that it was not going to be enough for what I was expecting. So I decided that a new program should be created. So here in Mexico, we make a distinction between education and training.
Yep.
You and it has been like a pretty nice debate on that. Uh, and by creating this new standard, I think that it could be possible to reach the standard of a consultant. You know, a person really well informed on educational theory and all these things that can also have the practical knowledge on how to do some procedures, which I think it's as important as the knowledge that you need to do this job. Um, Mexico asks me for a kind of bureau of committee of experts that can manage to establish step by step the requirements, the minimal requirements to do that job well.
Mhm.
Mhm. Uh, I do already have a scheme of how I think that should be done, but I don't think that that I should be the only one speaking on that matter,
Sure. Yeah.
and I need more experts for that. Fortunately, Dr. Eduardo Fernandez has accepted to join in this project.
And who was that again?
Eduardo Fernandez
Okay.
is the one who created the life model, like to
Yes, 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 yes.
Flamer. Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Yep, that's who I thought you were referencing. But I wanted to make sure that, yeah, great.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. Thank you.
I have here the support in Mexico from Dr. Claudia Edwards, who is famous ethologist.
Mhm.
I'm still waiting for an answer from Iris Bloom, who has already received my my email. I know her.
Well, and Irit is on our board.
Yes,
Yes. So,
and I think Maraveles and um, I think those are all the ones that I expect that you could know.
great.
Yes, and it's and you can see this from these perspectives. One is in which I only need signatures from experts to say like the project is okay and it can go on. Or you can see it like I need to present a product as perfect as possible as to be an, a reference, an international reference for what this job should be. And that's why I thought that it could be of interest to you. I have received some answer, not complete yet, but from IA, IAABC. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. What, and IAABC has responded to you?
I had contact with Latin America director,
Okay.
and I am waiting to their answer on the program, if I'm right. Yeah.
Yep.
Um, I have as well talked to pet dog trainers of Europe, and I decided to stop sending requests because if not, it was going to be like pretty difficult to make people be on the same page.
Yeah. Yes. Right. So
Yeah.
how can we help you? What would you like? In the perfect world, how would CCPDT be a part of this?
Participating in selecting the most the perfect fit for the expert that should participate in a project like this.
The perfect what?
The perfect fit, the perfect candidates to do this, because I have to launch public. I don't think it says convocatory, but well, I have to make this. I have to advertise this open opportunity for people to join in publicly for 30 days. So I am preparing for this time because I don't want to someone from the dark side trying to join in. So I'm trying to outnumber the possibilities that could happen, and reinforce this core of experts that I can recommend to Mexico's government to be part of that board of experts.
The board of experts. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Because so I want to just make sure I'm following the conversation correctly. You're working on convening your board of directors
Mhm.
that will oversee the government licensing program of dog trainers in Mexico,
Uh-huh.
right? Got it. Perfect. And at least for right now, what CCPDT could do is to support you in your efforts, but also help you determine what the eligibility requirements would be for board members.
No, the eligibility requirements. I have already sent a proposal,
Got it.
but
Okay.
but it is not in my. I am not going to be the one who decides who is in and who is not. That's
Sure.
a step little bit down in Mexico's education board,
Yep. Yep.
which is a committee that selects the occupational experts.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an area of a sub area of government. Not really. It's more private, but someone else decides who is in and who's not.
Okay. Yep.
So I am trying to uh, get people with the most impressive curriculum possible, so that they should be selected over anyone who would try to uh, establish something that goes against what I think that we all are trying to promote.
Okay. So with the CCPDT, our eligibility requirements are fairly minimum in that trainers need to have 300 hours of hands-on training experience. They need to have a signed attestation statement from a colleague, a veterinarian, or someone else in the field who can attest that their training practices are following the standards that CCPDT would adhere to. And then from there, once they pass the examination, even if they're from the dark side, as I think you called them, right? I mean, as long as the candidate meets the eligibility requirements, we assume that what you've done in the past is the past.
Yeah.
And moving forward today, you've passed the exam, and you are attesting to or adherence to our policies moving forward. So therefore, we try to make our policies and expectations for the certificates, the certified trainers, be as robust and up to date in terms of science and humane training practices as possible. That way, once you're certified, or maybe in this case, licensed, if you are then found not complying with the expectation, action could be taken to limit your training services, right?
Yeah.
Am I following the conversation?
Yes, the main difference here in Mexico is that once a certificate is given, it cannot be withdrawn.
Okay, so is it the organization like an APDT gives a certificate, or once the government issues a license that you can train, it cannot be revoked?
It is not a license to train. It's more like a high school diploma.
Okay, but it's issued through the Education Bureau.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can show you one. Let me look for it.
Yep.
But it's issued by Mexico's government.
Okay.
It has national validity, and technically speaking, it is valid outside of Mexico through the I don't know how to translate that, but apostilla. But it can be like recognized by other governments.
Yep.
Because of the international treaty.
Yeah, similar. Like I think you nailed it in that, like a high school diploma, right? I mean, my high school diploma is recognized in Indiana and it's recognized in California. So it's a degree in that way. Yes. So are you thinking that, and I'm sorry for being a little bit dense or maybe not following along, but are you thinking that you'll have this board of directors that can help you either bring in an updated curriculum to the education board or education bureau with maybe there's curriculums already in the US that are meeting kind of where your goal, and then possibly incorporating the CCPDT exam as part of the graduation procedures?
I am not really thinking of incorporating the CCPDT exam as such, because this thing of competency standards here in Mexico tries to be pretty different from education programs as such. I mean, it starts with the idea that education is more focused on theoretical knowledge than in practical things that industry could use. So competency standards are this kind of technical degree that says that you can do some specific task.
Sure.
We have standards on hairdressing, nail polish, like that kind of technical stuff, which recognizes the value of experience on the field. And that's why I think that this program fits in that, because I have many friends that we have like this knowledge of many things to do this job in a very professional way, I would say, that but we don't have that degree of behavioral analyst or that kind of stuff. And I think that should be recognized, but it cannot have too much weight on theoretical knowledge, as I would love to.
Yeah, there needs to be more practical knowledge, practical competence, and theoretical competence.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. And you have to accompany that practical thing with some administrative thing to fit in the rules already that we already have in Mexico, and with some knowledge. But that some knowledge has to stop on that.
Right.
Only the necessary knowledge to do the task.
Okay. Great. So then, I guess what would our task assignments be? Like, I don't know that I'm fully understanding how we fit into the picture. CCPDT itself, our whole niche in the profession is creating certification exams to test knowledge and skills of dog trainers. We don't have any sort of educational arm that prepares dog trainers to take an exam or prepares candidates to become dog trainers. We are only focused on credentialing, and that is testing for competence.
Yeah.
And so I think we're happy to support you in your efforts to the best of our ability in creating stronger standards in Mexico. Reed is obviously on our board, and she's a huge resource if you can get her to be part of this. So I think I just, I need to understand where we fit into your picture.
That's exactly why you fit in perfectly to this, because this certification programs in Mexico is exactly that. They don't care about how you get the knowledge, as far as you have it. So it is just an examination program.
Hmm.
So I think I am missing some practical knowledge on how to design a certification program without designing an education program. So
Yes. Yeah.
I think I am going way too far on the certification program because I am trying to take into consideration everything that education should.
Encompass. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think you said it right. It's the competency standards for the professionals in Mexico.
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah.
This is the kind of certification you get.
Yep.
And here we have a Mexico government education board and
Yep.
the department that is in charge of that
Yep.
competency thing. And it is a program that in its beginnings was created by the occupational board, I think that could be translation.
Yep.
Yeah.
So can you translate some of this? So this is like certification of competence labor, right? I don't speak any
Yeah.
Spanish, nor can I interpret it and read
Yeah.
it. So
It could be the National Board of Normalization and Certification of Working Competencies.
okay.
Hereby certifies Pablo Herrera with this ID. The dog training in the basic obedience level. Subscribed in the national competency standards with this code. Certified by this certification organism in Mexico City, 20 of April 2022.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, it's like pretty straightforward.
And so you completed the education program offered by the Educational Bureau, and then there's some sort of examination that you passed, and then they issued this diploma, this certificate. Is that correct? Is that the process?
Yes and no.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be linked to an education program. So
Okay.
you cannot have even a basic school diploma and still get one of this.
Okay.
And just you have to pass an examination.
Got it. Are there certain examinations that the Education Bureau would allow you to take? So of all of the certification programs in Mexico, does the Education Bureau approve some of them, saying these certification programs qualify as competency standards? And if you pass that exam, then we will issue this certificate?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. So there's approved certification programs. And I asked that some of it's my own education. You know, the CCPDT is also working on licensing requirements in the United States. And part of our model legislation, it says that in order to get your license, you know, from the state board, if you will, that you need to pass a certification from one of the approved certification programs. So it's similar. I think it's similar in that process where there may be 4 or 5 different certification programs that are approved in any given state. And as long as you meet their eligibility requirements, whether that's education or experience, and you pass the examination, you then would be issued your government certificate, your government license saying you're competent to practice in our state.
Yes, the only difference, well, the main difference could be that you don't have eligibility requirements.
Okay.
But you can even get one of these if you are not of legal age.
Okay.
So
it's pretty easy to get into the dog training field and get one of these certificates in Mexico.
Yes, and I think it's too easy.
Too easy.
So
Got it. Yep.
that's why I am trying to create some locks on this standard because here in Mexico it's uh, always pretty easy to do things the wrong way. So it has already happened with
Yeah.
the current standard in which many people has, well, not many really, but some people has this certificate without even passing exam. So in this idea that I have of the new competency standard, I am uh, forcing the portfolio that you have to deliver to Mexico's education board with videos and some documentation that could not easily be uh, faked out.
Yep.
And that's that's why I think that it could be pretty important to have your support in that because you have more experience in that area.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a pretty solid infrastructure of certification programs here in the States. I mean, job task analysis that help fuel our decisions and our policies. We have a lot of data on our candidates and pass rates, and we have a strong group of subject matter experts that have worked on writing our items as well as reviewing our items and working with our testing company to issue a comprehensive exam. I mean, I think that we're happy to, again, assist in whatever capacity we can. We just need to have a very clear idea of what that looks like and what the expectations would be and determine how that fits in with our own standards. I mean, the CCPDT is independently accredited by the National Commission for Certifying Agencies, and so it's a third-party organization that looks at credentialing organizations such as ours and says, in order to follow best practices, you need to hit these standards and benchmarks, and they review our program, and we have to do certain things in order to fulfill their accreditation standards as well.
Yeah.
And so there may be some limitations on what we can and cannot do, but I think that we are certainly open to the conversation and willing to help you in whatever capacity we can, even if that meant bringing in or creating some sort of new or independent certification program for Mexico that fit in line with where you wanted to see the training standards go. So
Yes, and there are these other two ideas that are floating in the air. One of those was like creating the figure of a behaviorist here in Mexico,
yep.
and the person in charge of that idea actually was trying to contact you, but but never the necessary effort that is only writing an email to do that. And I think I don't know why she hasn't done that.
So it wasn't on us. We didn't miss anything. She just did not reach out.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. I thought that was a great idea. That's why I knew about you. I was planning to take your examination since I saw that it could be done outside of the US.
Uh-huh.
That was one thing. And the other thing is that I heard that there is someone already trying to make another training standard. But I know them and I know for sure that standard will have many compulsion things in it because it is done by people who makes protection sports.
Yeah.
And I am as well trying to outweight the the certification, their certification. So if I get to have enough important organizations, international organizations participating on this and signing this that appears on the first page of the standard, I am trying to outweigh whatever they could do.
Got it. Okay.
So the best practices can stand out from that kind of
Okay.
programs. Yeah.
So then what would you like to see us do or need from us moving forward?
Just
Are we kind of in a holding pattern until you're ready for your next step?
yes. If you say yes, I would send a request. Well, yeah, right now to open uh, the public convocatoria. The public requests for experts.
Okay.
So I would email the people I already have that said that could join in.
Yep.
But they send their resumes and everything to the education board, so that they select whoever is going to be on that expert board.
Yep. And those are individuals only, not organizations, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Technically speaking, yes. They are. Nice question, actually. But they sign as organizations, as far as I have seen. But
Why don't you send that over
has-
and we can look at it? Send that over and we can look at it and see if that's something that either, I mean, maybe the CCPDT could nominate a board member, or maybe if organizations are allowed to kind of maybe put our hat in the ring, that we could look to see if our accreditation standards for the organization would allow us to put our hat in the ring to participate on this licensing board, education board in Mexico. But if you send over the information, we can certainly do some due diligence on our part to see if it's something we could be a part of.
Yeah, sure. And actually, I can modify the thing I have already sent as requirements for the members, because I had to send something like that to start the process. Let me. Yes, but just yes, organizations can sign in.
Okay.
They need someone to represent them.
Yep.
It's like you cannot be changing them inside everything.
Sure. Got it. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah, if you send that information over, Alex and I will look at the NCCA accreditations to make sure that we're eligible, and then I can bring that to the CCPDT board to see if that's something they would want to pursue. We've spoken as an organization a few different times over the past 3 or 4 years about creating a Spanish language exam. So this isn't outside the scope of stuff that we've thought about for our own organization. So I don't imagine the board would bolt or oppose, being a part of, something as long as we could.
Yes, just that I think that could complement what you are already doing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Good.
Yes. Well, so I am sending you the bunch of papers
Okay.
that I have on that. It as you know, it's quite huge, the kind of requirements that you have to fill in to do these things. But it's pretty much of the administrative work that has to be done is already prepared.
Okay.
I have been working on this like 2 years. So
Okay. Great. Well, send that information over and then we will look at it. And then I can be back in touch like late next week after we can review it.
oh, perfect.
Would that work?
Perfect. Yeah. That's great.
Okay. Anything else for the call today?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I'm really thankful that you reached out to us and even thought about us as being a possible partner for your work in Mexico. This is really exciting, and I look forward to looking at the information you're going to send, and then we can be back in touch.
Yes, and I'm sorry, but everything will be in Spanish.
That's okay.
We will figure
We've
that
got
out.
yeah, we've got a bilingual speaker in the office, so we can always
Okay.
ask him to
Okay,
give us a little
perfect.
bit. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Great.
Thank you, Pablo. We'll see you soon.
Well, bye bye.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.